Okay, the interest rate increase is doing what they intended it to do. It really hasn't slowed down consumer spending, but it has slowed down the consumer's purchase of homes. And here's the reason why. Anytime that you see a jump in the rate, you're going to have people kind of pause and go, hey man, that's way more. Like literally, no exaggeration, in January you could get a 3.75% interest rate. And here we are last week in June, and your rate's going to be 6%. And that's a hard pill to swallow, because when you're buying a $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 house, it can be several $100s more on your monthly mortgage payment. Now, you got to keep in mind with these prices that are coming up, and I know this is a bit off topic, but we're also going to see an increase in property taxes, just like we've seen here in local southern Louisiana with property insurance. I mean, my insurance took a spike, and it's $300 more a month just in my insurance, because of, you know, everybody kind of, you know, takes the bite for it. But back on the real estate market, so what's happened is for about a year there, homeowners didn't realize they could put their house on the market and sell it quick. And they really started appraising, which is a weird phenomenon to me, because it takes cash buyers to kind of push out and push down appraisals, because basically when people pay cash for a home, they don't have it appraised. It's a comparable property that anyone can compare their property to if selling in that area, but it's a cash purchase without an appraisal. So then it increases mortgage properties up, because that's a comparable sale. I know that's all confusing, but trust me, call me to sell your house. I'll take good care of you in that sense. The second note is consumers have now realized, consumers have now realized that, wait, I can ask more for my property. So it's kind of going back to the old school years ago, and I've been doing this for 2 decades. Those of you who have never watched or heard my video, 26 years in the business, and I've seen just about everything. And what I can tell you is that homeowners now are realizing, wait a minute, I can ask more for my property. So there for about a year, they would say, Wayne, what's it worth? And I always let a consumer choose the price of their property. It's so funny. I remember a question that I asked a real estate agent. The very first home I listed, the homeowner told me what they wanted to sell it for, and then they asked me my opinion. So I was just kind of confused, and I said, you know what? That's a good question. I called the office, and this real estate agent answered the phone back at my office. And I said, hey, who picks the price? Like, I was 24 years old. I didn't know. I'd owned a home for 3 years, but I said, who picks the price? And she goes, well, you do, the real estate agent. I was like, oh, okay. All right. So I told them the price, and they told me what they thought, and we listed it what they thought, and the house sold in a week. Ha, right? Now, I thought that way for many, many years, and now I do not. I show up with my computer so a consumer can see in real time what real estate appraisers see. I subscribe and have the same database, the same information, all of that data that real estate appraisers use to determine the value of a property. That way you list your property as close to that price. But at the end of the day, it's your home. You can list it for anything that you want. That's not to say that I will list it, because there gets to the point in time where it's like, I'm going to give you as much information as possible, but we have to be realistic. Now, keep in mind, we're at that point now in the real estate industry, and it's not just here in local Louisiana, but we're at that point now where consumers are in their brain, homeowners are in their brain, well, let's just try. Let's just try. That could be on a t-shirt, for God's sake. Let's just try. So everybody wants to try, and I get it. I've been the same way selling my property. But what you have to do and have to know, that in this market, if you're just trying and you're stretching and your real estate agent says a 225, or and you see the data, and I would encourage you, look at the data in real time. Don't look at a piece of paper. You know how easy a piece of paper can be manipulated. Now, I'm not accusing the real estate agents of doing that, but Lord forbid, it sure is easy to do. You need to see it in real time on a laptop computer, an iPad, or something, that property is without a doubt justifiable. And also, secondly, you need to see the insides of homes that have sold, so you compare their kitchen to your kitchen, their backyard to your backyard. Has it been remodeled? Has it been updated? At the end of the day, make a long story short, you pick the price. But if you put your house on the market in this market, June 2022, and for the rest of this year and the next year, if you put your house on the market and you get no showings in the first week, you're completely overpriced. If you get one showing in a week, you're overpriced, but not too bad. If you get 3 showings in a week and a contract within 2 to 3 weeks, you're spot on the price. And let me tell you why. Because buyers are more educated now than they've ever been before in the history of selling real estate and brokering real estate. They see taxes, they see what you bought it for, they see when you purchased it, they see the school district, they see the comps, they see everything. They is you when you're selling your property and buying another property. So think about that. We all have so much information at our fingertips, and a buyer knows when a house is overpriced. It's so funny. Years ago, they would be like, well, what is that? Is that kind of priced, overpriced? Now it's like, Wayne, that house is way overpriced, because they know. They're doing their homework. It's one of the most biggest, largest expenses of your lifetime is investing in a home for you, your family, or even if it's your first home and you're a single person. At the end of the day, it's a ton of money. So to sum it up, you pick the price, not the agent, but be confident in your price that it's going to sell for that. And I know sometimes we think, well, man, this one got that much more and that one got that much more. You have to look at every single home. You have to look at the inside of the home. Perhaps they had a 20 by 12 building on the back of the house that's poured on the concrete slab that brought in another $9,000. Or it's a detached garage, or maybe it's a pool in the backyard. It's an in-ground pool. Above ground pools give you no value whatsoever. But anyway, didn't mean to ramble. Just a little bit of real estate update. I know I haven't done these videos in a couple of weeks. I had a little bit of an emergency with family, and everybody's doing good, which is awesome. But I wanted to get back in the groove and let you know that's where we're at right now. If you price your property and you don't get so much, if you get one showing in 1 week, you're overpriced. One showing in 1 week, you're overpriced. You will sell, but you're going to have to wait for the market to catch up to your price, because you're pricing your property ahead of the market. If you really want to sell and get top dollar for your home, price it on the button. And if you don't know what that is, then call me. I can tell you. Most of the time I can tell you over the phone, but even then it's not going to be it's not going to be a good assessment. Even over the internet, it's not going to be. It's going to be a broad spectrum. But if you want to know, hey, I'm thinking about selling my house this year, well, I want you to come out free of charge, no cost. We walk in, tell you within 10 minutes on the spot. We give it to you in writing what it will sell for. I hope you're having a good day. Hope you enjoyed these videos. And if there's anything you ever need from me, feel free to give us a call at 985-626-1313.